So the Nimshal is more Me'elov. I mean, Reb Nachman is trying to justify to himself, apparently, how is he able to be a leader. So he says, since he knows his own shortcomings. So he says, I owe so much to God and I'm not coming through. So how can I lead people? Well, he says, this is basically the deal I have with God. This is basically the deal I have with God. God says, I say to God, look, I know I owe you what I owe you, but I'm not coming through. So what should I do? But I talk to God. I tell God, what should I do? It's not really my fault. I try my best. I try very hard. I can't come up with it. What I owe you, I can't come up with it. I can't come up with it. So God is like the rich man. God tells him, look, there are all these other people. You're just one man. There are all these other people who owe me. Every Jew owes me divine service so much and so much. And all these people are not coming through. If you go around and you uplift these people and you teach them the way, you cause them to do tshuva, even to some slight extent, it's much more than what you owe me as an individual. It's much more than what you owe me as an individual. And in that way, that will be accepted as a payment of your debt. That will bring much more for God than just the service of the one man, Reb Nachman of Breslau. So we see him struggling with. I mean, the underlying assumption of this story is that Reb Nachman is concerned about what he perceives as his own inadequacy as a leader, and how can he justify his leadership. He comes up with a way of justifying it through his communal involvement and through the way in which he encourages others and brings them close to God. I just want to finish, on the other hand, Nachman, we see him over and over torn between two poles. We just talked about Reb Nachman, that he sometimes lacked confidence and he thought he's unworthy to be a leader, but he veered between such moments of lack of confidence and quite a serious grandiosity about himself. At other moments he was quite sure, would experience himself as way up there. Apparently he once said, he once told his Talmud Rabbaran, he told him, Ani oyevoischem oid, I love you a lot, al kenenim varecha, therefore I bless you, shetizke ba'olam haba, that you should merit in the world to come, lohoven asichas kulan shali. I bless you that you should merit in the world to come to understand my simple talk, not my Torah, that you should understand my simple talk. At other moments, sometimes he was lacking in confidence about himself, but at other moments he was full of confidence, brimming with confidence, grandiose, and convinced that he had a very special role to play in the scheme of things. And apparently he said that he spoke about a vision or dream that he had. Reb Nachman spoke about where he was standing before Shulchan Malachim, before a table of kings. And he was swimming in the sea of Chochmah. And all the nations and all the kings were standing and looking and waiting that he should reveal some Chochmah to them. And he also said that when he gets to the Olam HaEmes, to the higher world, the world of truth, that all the tzaddikim will long to hear Torah from his mouth, from Nachman's mouth. So he's torn between two poles. Sometimes he feels very low about himself. He feels that he's unworthy, but at other times he's convinced that he has a special role to play and he's in a very high place. And okay, we can't go much further now, but I just want to finish by saying that one of the most striking features about Reb Nachman's Torah and Reb Nachman's personality is his willingness to talk about quite a bit the phenomenon of religious doubt. The phenomenon of religious doubt. Reb Nachman talks about the problem of people doubting, living with doubts, and having doubts about God and about their faith. Reb Nachman talks about these things. Reb Nachman talks about these things openly. He tries to find a way. Reb Nachman tries to find a way of overcoming doubt, of clinging to Amunah, but he was willing to talk about doubt. Reb Nachman said Reb Nachman said that that people think, it's a famous shtick of Reb Nachman, that people think that the ordinary people, that they're not disturbed by chakira, they're not disturbed by any questions, but he said, no, really, even the ordinary people are disturbed by all kinds of chakiris and svekis, doubts and chakiris and questionings and wonderings about the truth of the faith. Reb Nachman talked about such things a lot, strikingly and disturbingly. He was aware of the power of doubt, almost modern insensibility. Reb Nachman was aware of the power of doubt and the dangers of doubt, and he's talking so much about emunah and the necessity for strengthening the faith. You can see how Reb Nachman feels that the faith is besieged and that doubts are strong in people's minds. He goes on and on about the importance of emunah and trying to justify doubts. We're going to need to end pretty much right here. And maybe we'll get to come back to Reb Nachman and his doubts, but I wanted to say that Reb Nachman is very sensitive to what's going on in the world. Reb Nachman is very sensitive to human suffering. Reb Nachman is a very sensitive soul. He reacts to what's going on. And I want to just give one example, I'll finish with that, which is really striking and disturbing. I don't pretend that I even scratched the surface of Reb Nachman here, or even barely put my toe into the sea of the world that is Reb Nachman. But I'm just trying to touch upon things in order to enable the discussion. So we'll finish on this dark note, which kind of sets things up. Our master Reb Nachman once said, everyone says there's Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba. There's this world, there is the world to come. As far as Olam Haba is concerned, we believe that there's Olam Haba. Believing Jew believes that there's Olam Haba, that there will be the world to come, where there will be reward and punishment meted out. Perhaps there is Olam Hazeh, this world with its joys and pleasures, in some world. Because here it's hell, this is Gehenna. Olam Hazeh is not in this world. For everyone is full of great sufferings always. The Omar of Nachman said, Reb Nachman said, there's no Olam Hazeh at all. Okay, if anyone has anything comforting to say, go right ahead. That's it for now.